In the western region, more than 400 residents of Anglo Beach, a community in the Shamar district, have been displaced by tidal waves. Anglo Beach for several years has been bearing the brunt of tidal waves as over 90% of homes there have been washed away by the sea. Some of the affected residents spoke to Joy News.
This tidal wave, eventually it has been happening to us for a very long time. Let's say since 1995. That's my data I keep in my mind. So, as recently it started last 4 days ago, but yesterday one has been very serious and massive one that causes things. Our properties have gone. Only thankful to God that nobody died. That's what we can thank to God for. But properties have been destroyed. As you can see for yourself, houses and our let's say uniforms and dresses that we've been using have been buried into ground. We can't find some of them, but thankful to God that nobody died. So we need help. We need help. Anglo Beach need very serious help. It should be very immediate help. Immediate help. If it should be relocation, relocation or sea defense, it should be very immediately. We are not safe here.
2 o'clock that way. If you are bringing all started all basol and obey and wahama obubu and no rough. I'm much so I want a man who second ones or if I frame. So I'm a young man as I say, you maybe your poor abang, your poor children, I'm a boy and crying. Baby about that. Young man, so as I said, yeah, a bit so yes, guy, you a ponafoko. See your born.
Yeah, right now we are living at our uncompleted building just behind us, and we are even afraid the sea might come for it later, very soon. And so that's why we are trying to take some of our items out so that we will not get everything lost. I'm sure all these things are because of the rapid global warming that's happening across the world. So I will advise them to actually get places that are far away from the sea and live at safer places. And then also we can prevent this by taking care of how we have to protect the environment, and then so that we can limit the extent to which this thing can go.
I went to my auntie's house to see something there. So when I came back, I see everything in the water. The place is flooded. I went to see my aunties. Everything is in the water. So I tried to help him. When I came back again, everything, all my things is destroyed. We don't have any help now. So we are pleading the government to come and help us, support us, so that we can get a new place to stay now. If the government can help us to locate the place for us so that we can move here to that place and stay here and have a peace of mind and safety.
Correspondent Natalia Kwanza reports the people are now ready to relocate to a proposed new site.
For the first time, Anglo Beach has been hit by a destructive tidal wave. The situation has become an annual ritual whereby households and properties are often destroyed by tidal waves. The community, which lies in between the Pra River and the sea, now has about 90% of households swept into the sea, making the occupants homeless. The affected residents were spotted either counting their losses or carrying the few items they could salvage into their new place of abode, which is either with some family members or the church. District Chief Executive for Shama, Ebenezer Daze, together with some members of the District Security Council, were in the community to assess the situation. According to the DCE, a land allotted for their relocation has become a point of litigation by two families.
And if you look at how people have been displaced, I mean, it's very bad. And so we spoke to them and we gave them the assurance that something is going to be done. That is to move them permanently to the resettlement area. That's what we've agreed on. They themselves have agreed that they are ready to move, and so we are also ready to help them. We know there are disputes about the land, and on Friday we are calling all those involved and then talk to them that we can't wait any longer. Life is very important, and so we can't sit down on concern for us to waste life and properties. So we move them. When you have any case, come to us for us to settle.
Assembly member for Anlo Beach, Samuel Bolu, bemoaned the fact that over 90 households in the once beautiful community have been washed away. He, however, was happy with the intervention of the district assembly towards resettling the people.
The tidal wave was so high, said that it washes away so many houses around the coast. And then today, as we see here, the NADMO boss himself came from Accra, brought some items, some relief items to the community, and then the DC and the MP has also assured the community that they will be moving to the new site. So, I mean, you could see that the community is so much happy. For the last 3 days, we have lost about 30 houses. But if you add up, you make it cumulatively, I would say it will be in hundreds.
Here, as the Director General for the National Disaster Management Organization, Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe, who visited the community with some relief items.
There was a tidal waves disaster that affected the people of Anlo Beach. This is not the first time. In 2017, I was here. It happened, and we keep on advising them to move to the safest place. But when we came today, we were told that there was some land litigation. Because of that, they couldn't move to the place. But we are grateful to the MP and the DC. They've been able to settle most of the land litigations. And you could see the 2017 when we came, the people were not willing to move to the new site. Today, they are all willing. I'm so happy. All of them are willing to move to the new site. And that is what we thank God for. So we are here, one, on behalf of the President and government to empathize with them for what has happened to them, and also to present some relief items to the people also. So that is why we are here. It is a sad thing, but we thank God there was no death records or other human incidents.
For Joy News, in Athalia Kwanzaa, Anlo Beach.
Let's go to Zoom now and speak to Goerge Ayisi, who is Director of Communications for NADMO. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Joy News Prime. So there have been other incidents of floods and tidal waves recorded elsewhere within this week and the previous week. Question is, are you ready for this season?
Yes, my brother. NADMO is ready for the season.
What have you put in place to ensure that we do not have such levels of devastation when we have the floods coming, when it rains, and all the related matters?
Yeah, thank you. We have tasked all our officers from the region to the district level to do community sensitization, and they've already identified safe havens. My brother, because most of the places are low-lying, and you cannot immediately evacuate the people or get them out of those places, we identify safer places on higher grounds that they can move to for safety when the floods are catching up with them. And then after the rains, they can get back to their place. And then our officers too have been trained, search and rescue, in case of any emergency, anybody trapped anywhere, our team can be deployed there to go and save them. These are measures, and then we continue with the community sensitization about, because the people know where they live, it's not safe, what they ought to do. And by next week, under the leadership of our Director General and a team, we'll be visiting some of the flood-prone areas. We know, in partnership with the assemblies, the silting is ongoing in some places, and Dredge Master is continuously dredging the Odo place. You know, a circle at the Braka area are flood prone, and seriously, if things are not done properly and the people conscientized, the rains come and we'll be telling the same old stories. We hope this year is not going to be like that.
I've not heard you talk about relief items. Do you have enough in store?
Yeah, we will be doing pre-positioning. We have 4 warehouses. We'll be getting stock. The ones that we have, we are giving out to these victims, but we know definitely we'll be restocking and then doing pre-positioning in all the regional capitals before the heavy rains set in. So
for what you have now, what is the extent? How far can it take you?
I cannot put a number of days to it. It will also be dependent as a function of the number of people affected or the victims, and then you can look at the number of days. I don't want to speculate or hazard a guess. I want to be specific on what we have, and then I can give you the actual figures and what it can do in case of any emergency. So I want to hold on with that for now.
And is there special attention being paid to the northern part of the country because of what we've seen in the past, especially when it comes to flooding in those areas?
Definitely. But fortunately, in this phase 1, the March to May, June forecast by Meteo is mostly in the south.
Down south.
Yes, the heavy ones will affect the northern sector in the second phase. So that is the respite we've gotten for now. So we'll be focusing more on the south. But the north, you know, when the rains come in, is in the second part, and then the Bagri Dam also. So yes, we continue with the conscientization there. And when the time comes, we will also launch Operation Thunderbolt, what we call Operation Thunderbolt, to go and station some of our officers from other districts, other regions and headquarters to go and help the people in the northern part of the country. That is part of our annual plan.
Mr. Ayisi, I'm grateful for your time. That's the Director of Communications for the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO.